Hello. Today we are visiting Desert Breeze Hummingbird Habitat. It is located at Desert Breeze Park in Chandler, Arizona, and it is a special natural habitat that has native plants that were chosen specially to attract, feed, and shelter hummingbirds, other birds, and butterflies and pollinators. It has two entrances. One is from the sidewalk off the street, and the other entrance is when you're coming through the park. There's a little service road. You just cross the little road, and then it has an entrance there. It has paved paths for guests to walk around this little garden area. It has many cacti and the native plants, and they have little markers at a lot of them that'll show you the name of the plants. So if you're interested in them for your own garden, you can kind of look them up. You'll be able to see different kinds of blooms throughout the year because these are native plants. They will bloom all through. This is springtime right now during this video, but you'll get summer blooms, fall blooms, and even sometimes in the winter. And basically, you just want to stay on the paths. And if you're looking for hummingbirds, you really need to keep your eyes peeled, looking all around. I was looking for hummingbirds. Sometimes you'll see other types of birds. I saw a lot of little birds, butterflies, bees, lizards. You may hear rustling beside you in the bushes. So I was trying to kind of look and see. Usually it's probably a lizard. Sometimes there's birds down there too, looking for bugs or just kind of hanging out down there. And then basically you just want to keep looking for any kind of nature. I mean, it's just nice even just to walk through the garden. On the back side where there's a fence there, on the back side of the garden there are some apartments on the other side. And so you'll see those. And then, of course, you can hear kind of in the video vehicles in the street and the wind and the chirping birds and the insects. So it's beautiful, but, you know, it's not the most peaceful place, I guess, sometimes. This was in the afternoon, so there shouldn't have been too many cars on the road, but some of the cars that went by were pretty loud. So just kind of looking through the plants, there's little birds flying away, some butterflies, some bees, and there were some gnats that I found. I saw a lizard. Trying to just look for anything that you can find. For me, it's just kind of fun just to walk along and sometimes just look at the flowers. I mean, we live in the desert, so anytime you see color, especially flowers, you think of flowers as being so delicate. They're just really beautiful. And then you have the different cacti. There's the apartment complexes right behind the wall there. And you just kind of keep looking around and see if there's anything that you can find. Or you can just kind of meditate and walk around or just get your steps in for the day, whatever the case may be. It's kind of off to the side of Desert Breeze. Desert Breeze is a pretty big park with a lake and baseball fields and different places to walk, and this one's kind of off the side. So there are just, you know, you can go, it kind of goes in a full circle, so you can go around, you can enter through either of the sides and go through. And you just follow the sidewalk along. So you can hear the birds and the wind blowing. Just trying to look for anything I can find, just any kind of movement. I did hear, like I said, a lot of rustling in the bushes, probably kind of a larger size lizard. I did hear a lot of buzzing, looking for bees, butterflies. A lot of the flowers were in bloom there. And then I'm getting towards the other entrance down here. And this garden is also besides the city of Chandler and the Parks and Recreation that take care of it, it's also volunteers from the Audubon Society who sometimes come and help kind of clean it up and kind of at least keep the paths clear. They do try not to, oh, look at these blooms. Cactus blooms are so beautiful, and I mean, look how vibrant that is. So, I mean, even if you just don't see a hummingbird and you just see some really pretty flowers, when you live in the desert, it's just really amazing to see anything like that. And if you're a plant person, well, it's just even that much better. But anyway, the Audubon Society does come sometimes to clean up the pathways, but they do not shear the bushes or anything to make them look manicured. They try and keep it looking natural. This is an archway. It's a metal archway that is sculpted in the other entrance. They do say don't leave food for cats. There are a lot of feral or neighborhood cats that come, and of course, cats aren't really the best friends for birds. Cats can eat a lot of birds in their lifetime if they're let outside. And then, so from walking through the other entrance, which we just came from the entrance that comes from the park side, you can see where the path goes around either way. And if you come down to the middle here, there is a sculpted tree, like a tree of life, made from the same metals that the other archway is. And it has a little pond here with lily pads, and the blooms from the lily pads are pretty amazing too. Okay, yeah, so I'm kind of a geek when it comes to like plants and flowers. But, oh, look, there we got a lizard. You can see him on the rock. He's kind of hanging out there, sunning himself. And then just kind of keep walking around and see what we can see. And even though I walked around the hummingbird garden in both directions on this lovely spring day in Arizona, and I really looked as hard as I could, and with at least 17 different species of hummingbirds that we have in Arizona, I did not see one hummingbird, which is kind of funny because I was reading the Google reviews for Desert Breeze Park and this hummingbird habitat, and people were like angry, like there should have been hummingbirds. Like they went there to see hummingbirds and there were no hummingbirds. They were not happy. But this is it's not a zoo or a hummingbird attraction. Although we are trying to attract hummingbirds to visit this area, it's not going to guarantee you that you're going to see a hummingbird. Although we do have a lot of hummingbirds, especially in the springtime in Arizona, coming to get nectar or looking for a place to hang out. But like I said, I did not see any hummingbirds on my walk today. I did see a lot of small birds that look like sparrows or finches, and I did see butterflies. The sidewalk is really level, so if you wanted to come like with a stroller or if you use a walker or a wheelchair, it's pretty easy to get around. And the native plants also serve as like a xeriscape garden. So if you wanted to come and see, if you were thinking about, if you have a house, maybe you wanted to replace the grass lawn with desert plants, you can come here and see some of the desert plants that are here full grown, what they'll look like, depending on how you keep them, in your garden. These, they try and have them kind of grow wild, but you can also trim them down. There's like the fairy dusters, which are really pretty, that have the little red flower-looking things on the end there. And then you have some ocotillo. There were like mesquite trees, palo verde trees. There were different kinds of cacti, and then just a lot of little bushes that can grow obviously bigger if you don't keep them, have a gardener cut them all down. Lots of little flowers, and a lot of them go to seed, so you can actually take the seeds too and grow more plants, so that's kind of cool. But you can kind of hear still, like I said, traffic. There is also like a mile or so up the road off of Chandler Boulevard, like an air park or like a planned community where people actually have airplanes in their garages. So there's like you might hear some airplanes flying over. But it's still really nice just to get out in nature. Like I said, get your steps in, see some amazing plants. I mean, look at the bloom on this cactus. Come on, it looks like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. So it was just a really fun walk. And this is just one little tiny section of Desert Breeze Park. Desert Breeze Park, like I said, is a big park here in Chandler, and they've been here for more than 20 years. It's got a lake that you can also walk around, a couple of playgrounds. It's got a splash pad over there. There's also on the weekends a little train that goes around the whole park. So it's a really fun park to check out. So again, this is the Hummingbird habitat at Desert Breeze Park in Chandler, Arizona. So if you have a chance to come out, and maybe you can stay a little bit longer, sit by the lily pad pond and see if you can see some hummingbirds, or you can just come here to see the beautiful native plants that they have put here to attract the birds and the pollinators to come to this area and for them to help them thrive, because we really need all those guys to kind of keep our ecosystem going. So it's really clean, as you can see, and it just makes for a really enjoyable morning or afternoon. Summer hours will be warm, so if you are coming out, there are water fountains in the park and restrooms during park hours when they're open, but you never always want to kind of bring maybe your own bottle of water. Good closed-toed walking shoes would be nice. A hat if you have it, if you use sunblock, and just kind of be safe out there and just enjoy nature. Bring you back to these cactus blooms. This is probably my favorite part of today. Thanks for watching.